Welcome to the Wandiology podcast, where we learn and demystify astrology as a tool to gain a deeper understanding of our energetic signatures and our interactions with the world. Today, I'm joined by a very, very great friend of mine, an artist, a Leo. I feel like the best thing I can call her is a Leo sun. 29 degrees for that matter. My favorite Aquarius person. She's an Aquarius rising. And she has her Saturn in Aquarius as well. But I'll leave the stage for her to introduce herself.
Hi, guys. My name is Waxy, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I'm a singer-songwriter, a visual artist, a poet, and I'm also a plus-size model. And I'm currently studying UI UX design. Welcome.
So we're getting into the Aquarius archetype. Yeah, so babes, where do we start?
Let's start from even just from the name to the glyph.
Yes.
Everything. Let's go beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about this just the other day because I was like, if I think about, or when I think about Aquarians or the Aquarius archetype, like immediately my first thought is like even the name, because like we know Aquarius is an air sign,
Absolutely.
but then like the prefix is aqua, which is water. So from the very big, I feel like from the name already you can get a glimpse of what Aquarius is about, which is just very contrarian, the oddball of the zodiac, the misfit, the I guess the odd one out.
Absolutely.
And so I always think about that. Aquarius being an air sign, but then there's aqua in the name. You think about the glyph, the way it looks like waves, but it's actually an air sign. You think about fixed air, what is fixed air? Like all these contradictory things.
Yes.
And it's so interesting. For me, it's just like the one that you can't fully understand because like they have one foot on the earth and another foot in space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even speaking of the aqua, because a lot of people think Aquarius is a water sign.
Yeah.
But Aquarius is represented by the water bearer, right? And I think that's where the water imagery comes from a lot, because it's someone pouring water onto the earth. And it kind of like signifies, I don't want to say nurturing, but someone who is interested in the health of humanity.
Yeah.
Right? As a whole.
Yeah.
So these are the people who know the needs of the collective and they can tap into that, right?
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I always look at that water bearing like imagery as like they understand emotion because of the water aspect, but there's an element of detachment, which is very air sign, which is very...
Absolutely.
Because they're the cool element. They are like very cerebral, like they're in their heads. So there's the element of I understand what you're feeling, but it could also work against them because it's like you're understanding, you're not feeling.
That.
Like you're understanding the feeling, you're not sitting with them
the
and
feeling
them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is something we've talked about before and I struggle with as an aqua rising.
Yes.
Like I'm very good at I can even identify like I'm feeling like this, but then I very quickly rationalize it. It's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be feeling like this. 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
Moving on. And then I trick myself into thinking I've dealt with it, but I haven't.
Absolutely.
So it's one of the biggest lessons for me, I feel like, in this life is to allow myself to feel.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially because you have that air element a lot in your chart.
I'm very air dominant.
Yes.
That's very true.
So it's a learning process. Like we all have something where we're lacking.
Yeah.
So, yes. So we can get into the planets, right? And the luminaries. So we can start with Aquarius suns.
Yes.
What's your experience with Aquarius suns?
This is the one thing I will say about Aquarius suns. I don't think I know any two Aquarius suns that are the same. Like I feel like Aquarians are the most unpredictable in the sense that you
That's
don't have
true.
one. You don't have one. Like, you know how you can say Sagittarians tend to be Aquarians. Their thing is being unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Aquarian suns, I feel like, because the placement is in fall.
Yes.
I guess it's in fall. I think they might
In detriment, actually.
detriment.
Because the sun is at home in Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they might struggle with themselves versus the collective, where it's like the sun is very much about the self and like
Absolutely.
your center, and Aquarians are so humanity driven that they forget sometimes that they're a person and they need some love and care. That's like my thought about Aquarian suns.
First of all, I feel like I'm not gonna do anything in this episode. This is why I wanted Waxy here, because I'm tired of talking. And I know Waxy will just say the correct thing all the time. So please go off, babe.
Yeah.
That's exactly my sentiment.
That's what, yeah, I feel the exact same way. They're very good with friends. They're very good with like social situations, but they're so detached from themselves. Like, and even sometimes that could extend to the people they're social with,
Absolutely.
because they have such big ideas.
Yes.
They're like all about progress
Yes.
and moving humanity forward. Yeah.
I feel that 100%. Like, I was raised by an Aquarius father, so I know Aquarius energy to the T, and it is fucking unpredictable.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, my dad cannot stay somewhere for 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes max, he's gone. He's like literal air. Like,
Yeah.
you're not breathing the same air at the same time. So it's like, oh, tumemaliza, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And it's always this thing where you cannot attach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they don't stay long for you to attach to them. They know how to move.
Yeah.
Right?
I can definitely say, as someone who has, because Aquarius is my most dominant sign,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it takes a long time. If I meet you today, I will be social, but there's almost like, yeah, it is detachment. It's like, this is my space. It's going to take some time.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, it's that. It's like, I'm not here. I feel like the other sign that would understand that is Pisces. It's sort of like those last two signs are sort of not on
Yeah.
earth.
My mom is a Pisces.
Yeah.
My
They're
dad
like,
is an
there's
Aquarius.
that element of like, I can be in a social situation and we're talking, and I'm also looking at it from a bird's eye
Another
view.
perspective.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is I had a very difficult relationship with my dad growing up, because of course as a child you want to be able to attach to your
Of
parents.
course, yeah.
But now as I grow older, right, and wiser, I realize that one thing my dad is really good with is perspective. Like, it is crazy. My dad does not demonize people. Like, he sees the complexities of humanity. It's so crazy, because you'll be there venting and he'll be like, okay, but this is another perspective, and you can choose to look at it that way. And also, I feel like Aquarius suns have like this immense integrity that they tend to carry with them, because for like him, he's very principled. I've never had my dad gossip about anybody.
Wow.
Like, say an ugly thing ever, even if it's out of anger, out of spite, ever. And he's always just like, keep it moving. Like,
That's so
keep it
interesting.
moving. Yeah,
Must be the fixed aspect of
exactly,
it, like
the fixed air. And I just feel like that is one thing that I really admire about him, because it teaches you to not attach to the negative as well. As much as it can take you out of the positive, it also teaches you to not attach to the negative.
That's very interesting also, because I tend to do this, like with my friends, a lot of times they'll come to me for advice, and I'm able to look at the perspective of the other. The one thing I struggle with is when I'm in a situation, I can remove myself from it and look at it from the other person's perspective, and then sort of trivialize my own feelings. So I really have to learn how to, yes, I understand the action this other person took, but also I'm still hurt. Like, I'm still hurt, and I still feel like what they did hurt
Should
me,
carry
like,
weight.
and I should acknowledge that
Absolutely.
and express that. And I think you're so right. Like, I don't know any Aquarius who doesn't have that sort of open-mindedness where you are it's so easy for you to look at the other perspective.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I even have my baby sister, G, shout out. We're actually celebrating her birthday today, and she's the same way. Like, she'll be going through things, and she has this immense way of looking at tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how she does that. She can kind of like take herself out and be like, yo, but we're good. And she's always insisting, you guys, we have to be here for each other, community.
What?
And you know what?
That's
It's
so cool.
and it's
That's so
just like
cool.
very Aquarius of you.
Yeah, very.
But Aquarians are also very cool in like
yes.
in like the ideas and the way
Yes.
they think and the way they present.
Yes, 100%.
Like even their style and like their tastes are very eccentric.
Yes. Actually,
Yeah.
nobody gives me the aux cord in a car because I listen to the strangest things. And also, it's so weird. I'll discover like artists before they go mainstream. Like, so I'm the type of person who, I don't know if you know this artist called Lian Lahavas.
I love Liana. She's
amazing.
a Virgo.
She's amazing. I knew about her from I don't know 2012. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just remember when she was blowing up, I'm like, fam.
I
was
know
on
her.
it already. Fam. Like, that's very very much like the type of thing I would do, like the odd hobbies, like
absolutely,
like things like, I don't know, collecting stamps, you know, like they get very into
niche,
like oddball things.
Yeah, absolutely, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
So what about Aquarius moons? I know several.
That, I feel like that's kind of like a difficult placement because the moon is so emotional and nurturing. But then like Aquarius is more in their heads, cerebral, very cool, very mind forward. Like they're thinking about, they're so like, I think they're maybe the genius of the zodiac.
I think so as well.
They are like actually I think that all air signs are brilliant, but Aquarius is like,
it's top notch.
On
it's
another
different.
level. Yeah, so I would imagine an Aquarius moon struggles with that, like emotion versus thought, where it's like you feel, because you're a human being, you're feeling feelings, but you're rationalizing them, and you're quick to be like, keep moving forward. Everything is, I've got bigger things to think about than myself and what I'm feeling. That's my thought.
I feel like you'd kind of understand that energy because like your Gemini moon and that like air thing is happening, air moon thing. But with the Aquarius moons, I know my friend Shishi, she was here for the Cancer episode. And then I know Solange Knowles. I know a lot of very cool.
She's an Aquarius moon.
Yes, Cancer sun.
Okay, I feel like I have this theory. This is just a theory I have. I feel like people who are in the arts tap into a lot of moon energy. And the reason I say that is because I started tracking down Gemini moons, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because Florence and the Machine is a Gemini moon, and writing is a strong thing with Gemini moon.
Yes, Mercurial, and she's a
very
Virgo sun as well.
Yeah. Oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I just feel like Aquarius moons are very, very creative and forward thinking. Like, if you ever listen to Solange's music, she's like she's over here choreographing for like the New York Ballet. She does very niche things. It's so right. Like, you'd think of Beyonce, who's her sister, who's very like mainstream and legendary and like deservedly so. But Solange is the kind of person who's like, she's like sushi.
Yeah, yeah. She's not for, and that's the thing with Aquarians.
It's
They're
an
not
acquired
for
taste.
everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's that's
Yeah.
so
It
interesting.
girl energy.
Yeah, and it's just like they're in their own world. They're doing their own shit. They're
Yeah.
confident about it.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing things from a futuristic point of view.
Absolutely.
And it's very much. I always think about axes when we talk about sister signs, because like a lot of times people talk about how sister signs are different, but I always am interested in the similarities. And I feel like especially the Aquarian Leo axis is very much expression.
Absolutely.
Like where the Leo
Creativity.
is, yes, and where the Leo is heart-centered, like the Aquarian is knowledge for like them. They're thinking about it, like, and they're
the
mapping out
ideas.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where a Leo is like more, I'm feeling this and I'm gonna create from
I'm
this
gonna
point.
paint.
Yeah, which
Absolutely.
I think as a Leo Sun, Aquarius rising, I teeter between the two. So sometimes I'm like, I'm so mad, let me go and paint. Like sometimes it's coming from a very raw emotional point of view. Sometimes it's like, I've just been sitting on this idea for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna now that I have a plan, I'm gonna do it like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting.
Right?
I need more Aquarius moons in my life.
Yes, Aquarius moons are very cool.
Yeah.
They're cool people. So moving on to Mercury in Aquarius. I feel like this is such a stunning placement.
This is amazing because you have the mercurial, you have the communication, you have the education.
Yeah.
And
then the forward thinking.
Yes. And then you have Aquarius.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that is such a powerful placement because like you're talking about a genius who is like forward thinking and then has the power to communicate the ideas.
Yeah.
I wonder who is an Aquarius Mercury.
My mother.
That's amazing.
My mother. And let me tell you, my mom is the most intelligent person I know, hands down. Like my mom was my teacher. She is loved by so many of her students for the way in which she teaches. She's very revolutionary in that she does not believe like in the scolding, in the corporal, in the, she's very like, and then like I feel like her Pisces sun and rising are always just like trying to nurture. So when you add like she's very smart and tactful about the way she approaches every single person. And then it's different for everyone. Like she won't teach me the same way she'll teach another student. And I feel like it's just so adorable. And
that's such an Aquarian thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the ones who like they're able to, I always say this, like Aquarians are the most misunderstood sign, but they are the most open-minded sign.
Yes. And it's like it's that thing where
it's like, and I really get it, and it took me so long to come out because I know what I'm seeing, like other like people see me as, the weirdo, and it took me so long to understand the power of that. Like,
it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's such a powerful thing to have. And like, thank God for your mom, because like that Aquarian placement is like, as a teacher, I'm sure she's like superwoman.
And let me tell you, like she's currently studying her astrology, actually.
Yeah.
Like, and like for someone even her age, in the 50s, people are not that open-minded that it's like, especially having like this very Catholic religious background. People are not very open-minded to these things, but my mom is always like, oh, so this is what we're doing. And for my mom, it's, if she can see that something is working and inspiring, then
then why not?
And it's very just stunning. Like she loves to read. She has a lit major and stuff like that, and she's just, I'm always in awe of her. She's very well spoken, like you'll see.
I don't know that I know any Aquarian placement who is not. Okay, so Venus in Aquarius. Wow.
Jinx.
The first thing I think about is ghost star. I'm just like, I think about, I would imagine like, they're just like, I'm out.
Okay, one thing I know Aquarians struggle with is the love,
Yes.
the feelings, the
Intimacy.
yes, the intimacy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they just
I feel like Aquarians are very like, it's like almost like, oh no, that's not my
not
thing.
today.
Yeah, it's like a live wire. I don't
Yeah.
know why it's so triggering for them, but I imagine it's because they want to be intimate with everyone.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like that's the best way I can put it. Because for them, it's like, but there's a bigger agenda.
Yes.
But the thing with Venus is you need to cultivate intimacy with the things you value.
Yeah.
Things like money, things like relationships, things like love, and the things you're attracted to. Like, for people who are known to have staying power, I think it's very odd
Yeah.
that they don't like staying.
Yeah. Another thing that Aquarius, they're just contradictory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally get that. And I think sometimes their drive for bringing humanity forward overshadows their like maybe need for love and intimacy and that one-on-one.
Yes.
Like they're very good with a group of people, and then when it's one-on-one, it's almost
It's
like
tricky.
Yeah.
And I feel like they also are I met this Aquarius Venus once, and they told me they're very into like swinging and polyamory and like seeing multiple people at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because for them, they don't like being boxed in to a conventional type of man and woman. And we have to marry each other. And because Aquarius people want to break the rules.
Yes.
Always, all the time. Like you're not telling them anything. Like, they're rebelling.
Sometimes just even for the sake of
it.
Let's not mention the dress code.
And let's not. Let me tell you, Waxy was supposed to be here in some silver and grey. And they're like, you know what? No.
I literally was like, yeah, my Aquarian instinct says no.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's cool.
Do you know, I try to fight every single dress code. Or like, for me, sometimes even just a small, like, I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. I went for something and they said the dress code is this with a dash of this color.
Yeah.
I went, first of all, the dress code itself wasn't so bad, but the dash of, I just wore a ring of that color and I went for the thing. But yeah, sometimes just for the sake of, but also I feel like Aquarians are the ones who tend to be like, I'm the smartest person in the room. I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of like contradicts the need for cooperation and community.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, and I feel like these are the lessons now and I feel like that's why we have all signs in our chart. Unless you have like a super stellium of something, then you have an energy you can tap into, a different one. Like you're an Aquarius rising, but you're a Leo sun.
Yes.
Like that's meant to teach you something, some sort of cohesiveness in your energy. Another thing about this Aquarius Venus I was thinking is platonic love.
Yes. Being a big thing.
Absolutely.
Like friend network.
Exactly. Yeah. I know every Aquarius I know is in a clique, a friend group, something. And those, like, they really love social
gatherings.
Spaces. Yeah.
That's, I see that as well.
Ooh. Mars in Aquarius.
The first thought, I was just like, kinky.
Yes. No, yes, absolutely.
100%
absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is very similar to Mars in Gemini, but I feel like Aquarians take it.
Yeah.
Like
they
a
take
step
the
further.
cake. Like I feel like Aquarians, you wouldn't even understand
the
ways of physical intimacy, honestly. Like that's for them. That's for them to decide. And it's okay. Like you might be the most vanilla person, but you still have that thing that you do in your own unique way.
Yeah.
But also because it's about asserting yourself in the world, I feel like these are people who can spend their energy within social spaces like activism, humanitarianism, friend groups and things of the sort. What
those
else?
are like, I feel like they're also the ones who are most likely to disrupt the status quo, because
Absolutely.
like it's that like driving
Yes.
force energy of Mars,
Yes.
like, and then with the Aquarian sensibility of like, underdogs, we're bringing up the underdogs. So I feel like they're the ones who would be very much initiating the whole whatever, like down with the
Yes.
elite class,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jupiter?
yes. Tell us.
Jupiter in Aquarius. Wow, this one is I feel like this person would be the one who, first of all, genius, because like it's just that abundance
Yes.
inside the, again, sign of Aquarius, which is like a very intelligent sign. So there might be those people who are super like genius level smart.
Absolutely.
They're probably the ones who are in the lab actually innovating things.
Absolutely.
Like they're the ones who
I agree.
like, it's that energy on steroids. Like I see that, but I also feel like on the flip side, because I'm always saying excess can also work
Excess
against
is
you.
tricky.
Yeah. On the flip side, they might be so into progress of humanity, they forget themselves completely and their intimate partners, if they have them. That's like what I think of when I think of Jupiter in Aquarius.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I think of Jupiter, I think about, of course, luck and abundance, but I also think about like an assimilation of experience. Like Jupiter is about growing, expansiveness, and for me, this is giving expansiveness of the mind, like just really like being an avid reader, being a scholar, like being known widely, exactly, for being a scholar, for being an activist, things of the sort. But also what you're saying is so important, because with excess comes sometimes overindulgence. And I feel like sometimes Aquarians don't know how to look at things from a realistic lens. And that thing really really gives me the ache, because I'm like, I understand having grand ideas. And I see this with Libra as well. I understand wanting justice to look a certain way. But when you're on the ground and you're dealing with people who have been conditioned for years and years to think this other way, we need to have like a realistic frame of process.
How Virgo of you, but
How Virgo of me.
It's true.
It's true, right?
Because yes, it's that idea of like, it's idealism. So you have this idea of like, this is how it should be.
Yes.
But again, there are structures even that have been put up over centuries. So it's like, realistically speaking, this is not something you can overturn like in one day. Yeah,
exactly.
I really, yes, I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I also think about, for me, the thing that I've experienced with Aquarius people is abandonment and neglect. That's the other side of the energy I've experienced with them, because it's very much like, you're gonna be okay, because for them, in the grand scheme of things, you're gonna be okay. But how do you become okay? Sometimes like people who are close to you need to feel intimacy,
100%,
right?
yeah.
But you dismissing people's feelings as trivial because like you have an idea that things are gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Of course, we all know we're gonna be okay.
And sometimes I have to admit, it comes even from that point of feelings ni kitu kidogo. What are feelings? When like the whole, like you're like, what are feelings? We need to shift consciousness. But it's
now
like,
that
it's like,
it
no,
takes time.
Yeah. And also, you're a person and you have people in your life that like
Absolutely.
want to feel loved, want to get the attention, like,
Absolutely.
and it's that you're so right.
Absolutely.
It's that, it's like you're so in there,
And
but listen.
Yes. No, let me tell, like, even that has brought another very like vivid thought in my head about how the Leo Aquarius axis is about the collective, the
Versus,
individual.
Yes. 100%.
And this is the thing, because I was even reading because I had like a falling out with community, right? And so I went and I was reading about my gene keys, and my gene keys said that I have this key number 37, and it said that the needs of the collective will be met when the needs of the individual are met.
Yes.
Right? And I used to battle with it so much because I'm like, if people are not okay, like one by one,
Yeah.
if I come to you and I see you struggling in some way emotionally, and I'm like, no, but then online I'm there, I'm like,
Yeah.
these are our rights, we're fighting for our rights, right?
Yeah.
That kind of feels like
Yeah.
that work, like we're missing a part of the work,
Yes, of
right?
course.
And that's why for me it was so important to first do the individual like shadow work, to then decide what are my needs.
Yeah.
Is this collective meeting my needs or is it not, right?
100%. Yeah.
And how can I elevate my individual consciousness and fill my own cup so that when I come to this collective, I'm not
100%.
over
Yeah.
expecting something.
Yes, exactly.
Or I'm not undermining my needs
Yes.
for the collective.
Yeah.
And that's such a delicate balance because then I see Leos struggling with self-centeredness
Yes,
a lot
versus,
of times.
Yeah, versus the Aquarian
Yeah.
who's struggling with,
With?
those grand ideas of pushing humanity forward.
Exactly.
And it's true because Aquarians also neglect themselves. It's not just like the other.
They
It's
do.
like
They do.
they are so, like, they can be so caught up in the work, like
Yeah.
in the collective work,
Yeah.
that again you're neglecting yourself, and then you can't exactly what you said, like you can't effectively show up yes for the community if you're not okay yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's you've hit the nail on the
Yeah,
head. It's
yeah.
that, like,
And I don't even mean be 100%. I just mean there's a kind of like self-awareness and work that needs to be done individually for you to even come and exist in a healthy connection, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So if you miss this intimacy step with your partner, with your best friend, with whoever it is, and then you're coming to tell us that you know what our needs are and you're gonna deal with them, how are you going to deal with
you're
them?
You're so right.
You know,
because you're not even taking that step of like getting to know your partner intimately, because it's also that thing of like knowing yourself, knowing your drives, knowing your weaknesses, and then extending that to a partner makes you just better equipped to dealing with like the personalities of people. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Saturn
in Aquarius, please tell us.
That's my placement.
Yeah.
I feel like Saturn in Aquarius people they come a little bit more reserved. Like there's that sense of, because Saturn being very much restriction, very much time, very much karma, very much you reap what you sow. I feel like yes, first of all, they're at home. Traditionally they're at home, but also there's that sense of like, this is someone who has a plan. So this is someone who they still have all those ideals of like humanity forward, but they're also coming in with some sense of structure. I feel like these ones are the ones who can be overachievers, like very much. But I also feel like sometimes, because I always look at traditional and modern rulers, I feel like sometimes that restriction can stop them from reaching their full potential.
Absolutely.
And there's that element of questioning, like, especially the oddball nature, which ironically is what makes them a leader, like a revolutionary. Like that's the thing, because they're the ones who are bringing newness, or like they're pushing for a change in the system. So I feel like they tend to have a plan. Yes, they tend to be very like 100% overachievers. But I also feel like they might be restricted by that Saturnian tendency to like structure everything.
Absolutely.
As opposed to their very Uranian nature, which is like rebelliousness and difference and oddity.
Yeah. Because I agree 100%. Because actually, the other day, astrologers were debating about Mercury being exalted in Aquarius, and people were really like, they don't, the traditional astrologers didn't agree. The modern astrologers were like, yeah, I can see it. And kind of like they were like, no, Aquarius is not about technology, it's about societal change. And technology just happens to be a consequence of that. Yeah, and so for Saturn in Aquarius, I was thinking there's also this limitation that you're talking about, that a lot of Aquarius energy can manifest as, in that sometimes they have to go through the harder route to achieve the
100%.
thing. Yeah, and what I've realized is sometimes they tend to make life for themselves and others very, very difficult. Like
100%.
it's like an obstacle course.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. Again, as a Saturn in Aquarius placement,
Yeah.
like, for me, sometimes I overcomplicate the thing. I'm like overcomplicating the thing. It doesn't need to be that complicated.
Yeah.
And it's that thing because Saturnian again is like, I mean, the Saturnian, whichever you want to use, but it's very much a time thing also. It's
Absolutely.
like, no, just do the thing directly.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Neptune in Aquarius.
Neptune in Aquarius. That's an interesting placement.
Yes. This is like Neptune is about imagination, creativity.
They must be extremely creative.
Absolutely. I feel like this is also very like Moon in Aquarius type thing, like where these are people who are very, like, they have very grand ideas, and so when you bring in the planet of like imagination, romanticism, like even illusions, disillusions sometimes, maybe it's these topics merge with, I don't know, like their social groups, right? So maybe being disillusioned about who's around you, right?
Yes.
Or having groups where all of you guys are imaginative, like you create together, you come up with ideas together, you innovate together, things of the sort.
I get also the impression that someone like that is deeply psychic. So it's like that knowledge also is of a spiritual nature, like that I would imagine. But also the first thought that came to my head when I thought of Aquarius in Neptune was, is it Neptune?
Neptune
in Aquarius. Yeah, sorry. Is Salvador Dali. I don't know if you know.
Yes, the artist.
Yeah, I just think of like an art, like if it's someone who's artistically inclined.
I love that art.
Very like surrealist, like very even like the nature of
the
how
weird
they're
art.
And then they're like it manifests as dreams, imagination, like how they create is very
that's spot on.
Yeah. It's just very out of this world. I think about that like when I think about
Neptune in Aquarius.
brain fart. All right. Woo.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Uranus in Aquarius.
This is your placement.
Absolutely.
The floor is yours.
So Uranus is about revolution, innovation. What else is Uranus about? Going against the grain.
Yes. The
Out of the
underdogs,
box.
LGBTQ plus,
Yes.
astrology, all of that stuff. All the good stuff.
All the good things.
Yeah.
And so Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus is very happy in Aquarius. And this, I think, for me manifests as I always want to think differently.
Yeah.
Like I will question every single thing. So for me, this is in my 12th house. So for me, this manifests as spirituality. Kind of like spiritual revolution, like caring very much about that and thinking very much about that. Like I read astrology books every single day and I enjoy it. It's not like this is what I have to do. No, like, oh, it feeds my soul. Every time I do tarot, like I feel like, oh, I'm in my energy, and I just feel like this is, I'm just constantly thinking of ways in which we can do better with regards to spirituality, especially in the African context, demystify things. Yeah. So this is like me teaching my mom her astrology. And luckily she's a Mercury in Aquarius, so she gets me. She gets it.
Yeah, so you guys must be compatible, especially on that front.
Absolutely. And we're both Pisces risings. So yeah, it just feels very comfortable. Yeah, and I feel very comfortable being the odd one out.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Because a lot of times it just means I'm thinking for myself, and I'd rather have that than just go.
Yeah, like just taking someone else's
stance,
idea or
yes,
stance and
yes.
not even questioning it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Better place to be, in my opinion. All right, last but not least,
Pluto in Aquarius,
which is
yes,
current transit.
Yes. Oh my days. People are not ready for this transit.
Honestly, when I think about this, I just think about someone who is so disruptive. Like,
yes.
Someone who is the person leading the revolution.
Yes.
Like, this is the person who is like, let's go, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Down with the systems. Like, I feel like that's the type of...
Yeah.
Pluto in Aquarius is that type of person.
Absolutely. There was a match today, literally. Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto moved into Aquarius Jan 20th. It's 27th. There was a match today against femicide.
Yeah.
And like, even for all those watching this, please pay attention to the men in your life.
Yeah.
The things they say, the things they tweet, the things they, just even passively, right?
Yeah.
And it's just so important to be an ally at this time. And I feel like this transit is just ripe for the picking. I
promise, like, just even looking at world events, like South Africa taking Israel to court, never in my life. Just seeing how people are standing up for Palestine.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because you see even the influence of technology.
Absolutely.
Like, seeing all of these things being televised, being on social media, like, when has this ever happened? It's just, what a time to be alive.
Absolutely.
And like, I know everyone is just like, oh my God, panicking, like Pluto in Aquarius, but I'm always excited for that particular placement because there's so many important events in history. Like, last time it was there, the French Revolution happened.
Absolutely.
The time before that, like, the church broke apart. Like, you're just going to see madness.
Revolution everywhere. The Haitian Revolution as well.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of centering marginalized communities, right? And I'm just so excited for this transit because on top of that, it'll highlight the oddballs. 100%. Like, it's our time to thrive. I'm not even joking.
As an Aquarius rising, like, ready.
Yeah, like the queer babes, the marginalized babes, the women, the trans folk, the astrology babes.
Yeah.
Like, those people who right now feel like they don't fit in. And I know, like, the Pluto in Capricorn transit did us so dirty with, like, the height of capitalism and everything just being about money and status. But now everything will be about the people. Yeah. It'll be about niche content, niche, like, and then it'll be about uniqueness.
Yeah.
And people will be able to tell authenticity versus from things that are not authentic.
And I also, to add on to that, I think this is when we'll start seeing tech working for the progress of humanity. Like, actually tech that is for the people. Yeah. As opposed to, again, and then hierarchy also will be just...
Yes, people are getting like sick of hierarchy. Like, these things where rich people are doing vlogs showing like the mansions, and like Kim Kardashian is in her pantry and she's just like, oh, we're rich, this is what we do. Like, that shit is not going to fly anymore because we understand how those systems have failed so many people and we're sick of that shit.
And we're already even seeing it. Like, the celebrity class
culture. It's coming for celebrities as well because of that opposition.
Yeah, it's opposing Leo, exactly. I was just thinking about it today and I'm like, yes. So we're seeing all these things. I mean, Diddy, like, everything is just coming to play like Epstein, all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Again, another example of marginalized like children, protection of kids.
Oh my God.
100%.
Especially through tech. Like,
Yeah.
start backing up your shit into drives, into physical copies if you can, because like I feel like the tech things that are going to happen, you know, the thing at the end of the day, Pluto is still a malefic.
Yes.
So
yes,
we're
yes,
still
of
going to
course,
see
yeah.
the negative sides of it. Things like stalking, things like AI porn, which we're seeing now, and all those
these deep
very
web
terrible
stuff,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And so like a lot of even laws to do with tech and things like that, just matters around tech, are going to be big themes and very like serious advancements in the tech world.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
celebrities?
Let me tell you who has exactly my big three,
Uh-huh.
which I was shocked today to find out. Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh
He's a Leo
wow.
sun, Gemini moon, Aqua rising.
Wow.
Which I such a good example, because like we could not be any more different.
Yeah.
But he's an Aqua rising like me. I think I know Zendaya is an Aqua rising.
Yes, Zendaya is an Aquarius rising.
Um,
Megan Thee Stallion is an Aquarius sun. Like the Megan Thee Stallion.
Harry
Tinashe.
Styles is an Aquarius sun.
Yeah.
Tinashe.
The Weeknd.
Who else?
The Weeknd, I think, is an
Oprah
Aquarius
is an Aqua
sun.
sun.
J. Cole. Oprah is not a Capricorn.
I think she's an Aquarius sun.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Audrey Hepburn was an Aqua rising, I think. Who else did I see?
Yeah.
I have my list. You know, I have my
Yes.
list of notes.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
Oh.
He's like the ultimate Aqua rising. David Bowie. I mean, if you want the quintessential
Aquarius, yeah. With
David
the makeup
Bowie.
stripe.
Yeah.
I love it.
But like that just goes to show how different they are, because like
yeah.
Zendaya, David Bowie, Obama, like they're all different aesthetically.
Yeah.
Like who else? Hepburn, Aaliyah.
Ooh.
Aaliyah was an Aqua rising. Jennifer Aniston is an Aqua sun. Just like very different. I don't know that. Yeah, you can't even.
You can't place them like in one.
Very different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that brings us to the end of the
I was gonna ask you
episode.
body parts.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes. Oh my God, Aquarius. Paris Hilton is an Aquarius also.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah,
You're right. You're
yes.
right. Yeah.
And I wanted to use this example because Aquarius rules the shins, like masculine B. And she has the most stunning legs. Like, just go look that up.
Shins and ankles, I think.
Yeah.
I always look at them, all of these body parts symbolically, because what an example of moving humanity forward.
Exactly.
Like those are the muscles that move your feet forward.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, thank you for showing up for another episode of
Please plug your socials, Waxy.
Yeah, so I'm Waxy on Instagram, WAKSY_. I think I'm just gonna plug my Instagram, to be honest. I'm not very active in anything else. And please feel free to follow, and we'll see you next time. Taking off.
And you can follow me on @Wandiology across all socials, and the podcast at the Wandiology podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you on the next episode, which is Aquarius Through the Houses. Bye.
Bye.